You don't need more time. But if you're honest, that's what you've been thinking, right? If I just had more time, if I'd finally get caught up, if I just had more time, I'd finally see more results. And yet you're working. You're thinking about your business. You're doing all the things and still feeling behind. Still wondering what actually moved forward from all the time you spent. And feeling that tension of, I'm building something meaningful, but I'm missing what matters most. So here's the truth. It's not that you don't have enough time. It's that your time isn't working for you. And why? Because you've been taught to manage your time, not steward it. And until that shifts, nothing else will change. So in this episode, we're drawing a line in the sand. No more busy without results. No more full days without fruit. It's time to make the shift from busy to CEO for good. You're doing a lot, but if you're honest, not much is actually moving forward. You're working, thinking about work, trying to build something meaningful, and still feeling like there's never quite enough time. Wondering at the end of the day, what actually moved forward? And I know this about you. You're not sitting around all day scrolling your phone or binge watching Netflix. And you're also not disconnected from your business either. You're in it, probably more than you want to be. Thinking about it when you wake up, working on it in the margins of your day, carrying it with you throughout wherever you go. You're showing up. You're trying. You're investing time into this because you're called. You care about your business. You want it to grow. You want to make an impact and an income. But right now, you're busy without the results you desire to show for it. So if you've caught yourself thinking, why do I feel busy all day, but I'm still not getting results? Or why does my time feel so full, but nothing is actually moving forward? Then that is exactly what we're talking about today. Because here's what I see happening over and over again. Women like you who are called, committed, doing all the right things, but your time isn't producing what it should. Not because you need more discipline, not because you need a better planner, not because you need more time, but because no one has ever shown you how to actually evaluate your time as a CEO. And I want to say this up front. If you hear yourself in what we're talking about today, don't just listen to this episode and move on, because awareness alone won't change your results. You need an entirely different way of approaching your time. And that's exactly why I created the Busy to CEO Time Scaling Experience. It's a bingeable private podcast to help you see what's actually keeping you stuck and start shifting your time so it produces real results. So as you're listening today, if you find yourself thinking, wow, this is me, that's exactly where I'm stuck, then I encourage you, stop trying to manage those hours and start multiplying them. You can go to redeemhertime.com/hours and start there. Because today, we're drawing a line in the sand. No more full days without fruit. No more constantly being in your business, but not actually moving it forward. It's time to shift from busy to CEO for good. I was on a one-on-one CEO strategy session with a client recently, and on paper, she was doing everything right. She had clients to serve, meetings to attend, and a calendar full of things she knew she should be doing. She had a very full schedule, and she would start her day with every intention of being done by 5 o'clock. But most days, it didn't end at 5. It turned into 5:30, 6, sometimes even 7. And by that point, she was frustrated and exhausted because now she still had to figure out dinner and how to be present with her family. And she didn't have the bandwidth or energy to show up like she wanted to. But when we really started looking at her days, what we discovered was this. She was picking up her phone all day long. Every time a family member called, every time a friend needed something, every time something came up, she was available. So her work got pushed, interrupted, spread out, and started bleeding into every part of her day. And then she said this, and it literally stopped me. She said, Lissa, I feel like I'm called to build something important, but at the same time, I'm missing everything that matters. And that's the tension, isn't it? Because she wasn't doing nothing. She was doing a lot. She was committed. She was showing up, but her time was constantly being misdirected, and she was being pulled in too many different directions. And here's what I need you to see. This isn't just about being busy. This is about what you're tolerating. You're tolerating distraction. Why? Because you haven't decided what matters most, and you haven't protected it. You're letting urgency outrank your assignment, and you're measuring your time by how full it is instead of what it actually produces, aka fruit. So if you're hearing this and thinking, oh, Lissa, you've got me, then this is your moment. This is the point where something has to change. Not if you actually want the business to say you want. Not if you actually want to be present in the life that God has given you. Things can't actually be the same. And that's exactly what we worked on in that session. I didn't give her more to do. I helped her make CEO decisions about her time, when it was time to work, and when it's time for everything else. So that way, when she was working, she could actually focus, actually complete things, actually see the results she wanted. And when she was with her family, well, she could be fully present without her work bleeding into that space or leaving her feeling like she had nothing left to give. And maybe you felt that too. You're done being busy without results. You're done working longer than you want to, and you're done being committed, but still feeling like your time gets pulled in every direction because you're not okay staying there. So let me say something that might feel a little confronting. You don't have a time problem. You have a time stewardship problem because you've been taught to manage your time, but not to steward what God has actually entrusted to you. And those, my friend, are not the same thing. So if you've been operating this way, filling your days, reacting to what comes up, hoping it all somehow works out, we're not doing that anymore because we're not here just to manage your time better. You are here to steward your calling, which means your time isn't just something to fill, it's actually a sacred and strategic asset entrusted to you. And if you're a business owner, this is where most women make a very pivotal mistake. You measure your time by how full it is, not what it produces. Because, well, let's see, does it look like this? You spend your mornings responding to messages, checking in on things, handling what feels urgent, and before you know it, that one thing you said you were going to get to that day gets pushed till later. Or you end the day thinking, wow, I was busy all day, but did I actually move anything forward? And over time, that creates a pattern where you're working a lot, but not seeing the return that you expected. So that's why I want to introduce you to a shift that you're going to hear me talk about often. It's called RODI, Return on Time Invested. Because CEOs don't just ask, what did I get done? They ask, what did this produce? They don't just ask, what time is it? They ask, what is it time for? So instead of just looking at your day as a big task list with a bunch of timestamps on it, start asking, where am I to invest my time to move something forward, produce some fruit? Because there's a difference between your day being full and your day being fruitful. And that, my friend, is the difference between a business owner and a CEO. A business owner fills her time. She reacts to what comes up. She stays in motion. But a CEO, she evaluates her time. She decides what matters and she expects a return. And this is the shift that we are making. Because everything you've been believed about time up to this point is exactly why you feel stuck, why you feel like you're just spinning your wheels. And that's why this isn't just about feeling busy. This is costing you momentum in your business. It's costing you results that you should already be seeing. And honestly, it's costing you presence in the life God has given you. Because when your time is misaligned, it doesn't stay in your business. It bleeds into your evenings, it bleeds into your relationships, it bleeds into your ability to be present. And this is where that cycle keeps going. Because so many business owners see the problem, but they don't actually know how to change it, so nothing changes. And that's the deeper work that we are going to do on this podcast, as well as in the CEO time scaling experience. You're going to learn how to actually align your time so it produces the results you're working for. Everything we talk about around here is based on Ephesians 5, verses 15 through 16, which says, be very careful then how you live, not as unwise, but as wise, redeeming the time, or as some translations say, making the most of every opportunity. And that doesn't mean squeezing more in. It means using your time wisely because it is sacred and strategic. It means using it in alignment with what actually matters and what you've been called to. Because the truth is, you don't need more time. You just need your time to be aligned with your calling. And when that shifts, then everything starts to change. Your results change, your focus changes, your presence changes, because now you're not just busy, you're building something that actually produces fruit, both in your business and in your life. So here's the shift I want you to make today. Not next week, not when things slow down, today. I want you to take 10 minutes and look back at your last week. Not your intentions around your time, but your actual time. Instead of asking, what did I get done? I want you to ask, what actually moved something forward? What actually produced something in your business? What actually created progress? And then look at the other side. What just filled your time, but didn't move anything forward? Where were you reacting instead of deciding? When were you responding instead of focusing? When were you available to everything instead of aligned with what you said mattered? And here's another question I want you to sit with. When did I actually turn my business brain off so you could be fully present with the Lord, with your family, with yourself? Did you? Or was your mind constantly thinking about what you didn't finish, replaying what you need to do, carrying your business into every space of your life? Because this matters. Awareness is what allows you to start making CEO decisions, not just about your business, but about your life. What needs to be protected, what needs to be honored, what actually matters most. Because you don't need a completely different life or more time. You need a different level of intentionality with the time you already have. And this, my friend, is exactly the moment where things begin to change. When you stop measuring time by how full it was and start expecting it to actually produce something. Because CEOs don't stay stuck in patterns that feel full, but aren't actually fruitful. So don't fall into the trap that so many women do. They see it, they recognize the problem, they realize their time isn't producing what it should, but then nothing changes. Because why? They're busy. That's because insight alone doesn't create results. So if you're being honest, you don't need another week like the last one. You don't want more full days that don't move anything forward. You don't need to keep working longer than you want to while still not seeing the results that you're capable of. You don't get to stay here because you are a CEO. And that's exactly why I created the Busy to CEO time scaling experience. Because this isn't just about recognizing the problem, it's about learning how to actually shift your time so it produces real results. In this private audio feed, I'll walk you through what's actually keeping you stuck, how to evaluate your time as a CEO, how to align your time with what actually matters so you can see progress in your business without your work bleeding into every part of your life. So if you listened to this today and thought, yes, this is me, this is exactly where I'm stuck, then I'm going to encourage you, don't just move on. Right now, go to redeemhertime.com/hours and you can start with episode 1 titled, Want to Scale Your Reach, Revenue, or Results? It starts here. Because this is the shift from being busy to becoming the CEO who actually sees a return on her time. And this is the shift we're going to keep building on here at Redeem Her Time because CEOs don't stay busy. We become CEOs who steward our time and are calling well. So remember, instead of chasing time on a clock, trying to control it, receive the gift of time from the one who truly holds it. Steward it well because as his daughter, you have time.